There are people in America who get paid to live completely alone on top of a mountain. For months at a time. No neighbors. No internet. No city noise. Just silence stretching for miles in every direction. They earn up to $20 an hour. Not to build, not to fight. But simply to watch. But what they're watching for could destroy everything in minutes. Their job is to detect wildfires before anyone else even knows they exist. Because out here, one small spark can turn into a disaster bigger than entire cities. And sometimes, they are the only person in the world who can see it first. No backup nearby. No immediate help. Just a radio. And a decision that could save thousands of lives. But here's the question. What does it really feel like to be that alone? With that much responsibility? This job is called a fire lookout tower watcher. And it's exactly what it sounds like. They live inside small towers built on top of mountains. With one mission. To watch the forest. Every day. They scan the horizon. Searching for the smallest sign of smoke. Because in the wild, a fire doesn't announce itself. It starts quietly. Almost invisible. And if no one sees it early, it can spread faster than anyone can control. That's why this job exists. To catch danger before it becomes a disaster. Decades ago, there were thousands of these towers across the United States. Today, only a few hundred are still active. Most people have never heard of this job. Because these towers are hidden far away from cities. Deep in remote wilderness. No roads. No crowds. Sometimes not even a signal. Just one person. Watching over millions of acres of land. They are not firefighters. But without them, many fires would never be stopped in time. In a world full of technology, satellites and drones still can't fully replace human eyes. Because sometimes, the difference between safety and destruction is just a thin line of smoke on the horizon. And only someone patient enough, quiet enough, and alone enough can notice it. At first glance, this job doesn't seem to pay much. Most fire lookout tower watchers earn between $15 to $25 an hour. Some positions are seasonal, lasting only a few months during peak fire season. And yet, for a job with this level of responsibility, the pay feels surprisingly low. Because one mistake, one missed signal, could lead to millions of dollars in damage. So why isn't the salary higher? Because this job doesn't pay for action. It pays for patience. You're not constantly fighting fires. You're waiting for something to happen. Sometimes, nothing happens for days. And that silence is part of what you're being paid for. But despite the modest income, this job still exists for a critical reason. Wildfires in the United States destroy millions of acres every single year. And the earlier a fire is detected, the easier it is to stop. Satellites can scan huge areas. But they don't always catch small, early smoke. Drones can help. But they can't stay in the air all day. Every day. And that's where humans still matter. A trained watcher can notice tiny changes. A faint line of smoke. A shift in the wind. Things that machines might ignore. or detect too late. In many cases, those first few minutes decide everything. A small fire can be contained quickly, or grow into something unstoppable. So even in a world driven by technology, this quiet, almost forgotten job still plays a vital role. Because sometimes, the simplest method, a human watching from a tower, is still the most reliable. A typical day for a fire lookout tower watcher starts before the sun fully rises. They wake up alone, surrounded by nothing but mountains and endless forest. No alarms from traffic. No voices. Just wind. And silence. The first thing they do is check the weather. Wind speed. Temperature. Humidity. Everything matters when it comes to fire risk. Because a single change in the wind can turn a small flame into something uncontrollable. After that, they begin scanning the horizon. Slowly. Carefully. Using binoculars to sweep across miles of land. Every direction. Every shadow. Every unusual movement. Hours pass. And nothing happens. And that's exactly how it's supposed to be. But they can't relax. Not even for a moment. Because fires don't wait for you to pay attention. Around midday, the heat rises. And the risk becomes higher. This is when most fires are likely to start. Lightning strikes. Dry grass. Or even human mistakes. A tiny spark. That no one else will notice. Except them. If they spot something, they don't hesitate. They grab the radio. And report the exact location. Distance. Direction. Size. Every detail must be precise. Because firefighters on the ground depend on that information. One wrong estimate could send help in the wrong direction. As the day goes on, the silence returns. No calls. No movement. Just waiting again. But the job doesn't end when the sun goes down. Sometimes, they stay alert even at night. Watching for distant glows. Or unexpected light in the darkness. And when the day finally ends, they are still alone. In the same tower. Miles away from anyone else. Only to wake up. And do it all over again tomorrow. At first, this job sounds peaceful. No noise. No pressure from people. No constant distractions. Just you. And nature. But after a few days, that silence starts to feel different. It becomes heavier. Louder in its own way. Because humans aren't built to be completely alone for that long. Most people who take this job are not ordinary. Some are introverts who genuinely enjoy isolation. Some are nature lovers, escaping the chaos of modern life. And some are simply trying to get away from something. Out here, there are no conversations, no social interaction, no escape from your own thoughts. Day after day, the only voice you hear is your own. And over time, that can change the way you think. Small things begin to feel bigger. Silence begins to feel overwhelming. Time itself starts to slow down. Hours feel like days. And days blend into each other. There's no clear separation. No real sense of routine. Just an endless loop of watching, waiting, and thinking. And that kind of isolation can take a toll on mental health. Some watchers report feeling anxious or disconnected from reality. Others struggle when they return to normal life. Because after weeks alone, even simple conversations can feel exhausting. But at the same time, some people find something else out here. A strange kind of peace. A clarity they never had before. Away from noise. Away from pressure. They finally hear themselves clearly. Which is why this job is so unusual. For some, it breaks them. For others, it becomes the only place they feel truly comfortable. And maybe that says something deeper. About a world where silence feels rare. And being alone becomes something people are willing to get paid for. This job is slowly disappearing. Every year, fewer lookout towers remain in operation. Many have already been abandoned. Left behind as relics of the past. Because technology is taking over. Satellites can now scan massive areas of land in seconds. Drones can fly directly over forests, searching for heat and smoke. And automated systems can detect fire risks faster than ever before. So the question is, do we still need human watchers? In many places, the answer is already no. Towers are being shut down. One by one. Budgets are being cut. And positions are not being replaced. What was once a common job is now becoming rare. But it hasn't disappeared completely. Because technology still has limits. Satellites can miss small fires under heavy clouds. Drones can't stay in the air all day without interruption. And automated systems don't always understand what they see. But a human can notice something subtle. Something unusual. Something that doesn't belong. And sometimes, that difference still matters. So for now, this job still exists. Caught between two worlds. One that values human instinct. And one that trusts machines. In the future, there may be even fewer watchers left. Maybe only in the most remote, hard to reach places. Or maybe just as a backup when technology fails. But one thing is certain. This is no longer just a job. It's becoming a memory. A quiet role. Slowly fading away with time. So the next time you think about dangerous jobs, you probably imagine firefighters, police officers, or soldiers. But far away from the spotlight, there's someone sitting alone, high above a silent forest, watching, waiting, for something most people will never even notice. No recognition. No audience. Just responsibility. Because if they fail, no one will know their name. But everyone will feel the consequences. And maybe that's what makes this job so different. It's not about action. It's about being there. When nothing happens. Until suddenly, something does. And in that moment, one quiet decision can change everything. So while the world keeps moving forward, and technology continues to replace human roles, somewhere out there, a single person still sits in a tower, looking out over miles of forest. Alone. But never truly unimportant.